Number one thing I know about James, great beard. Look at that beard. The camera's going to go right on. Look at that beard.
Beautiful.
I didn't have a beard when he met me.
Well, he has a beard now.
I had long hair and I was
If you're listening,
shaven.
pause Spotify, go to YouTube.
Yeah,
do
look at
yourself
the
a
beard.
favor.
I
Look
looked
at
like
that
the
thing.
transition of Smeagol when he was
No.
going from like a halfling to Smeagol. Like I was not a good looking guy. I'm a solid 4 at this point, but I was definitely in the 2 range. It was
Dude,
rough.
2.
look at that beard. You can get lost in there, man. That's a great beard. Welcome back to another episode of the Campfire Council podcast. As always, we appreciate having you guys here. Today with us on the podcast, we have Wes.
Welcome back.
Yes, we got Wes back. That's huge. Myself, Luke.
yeah.
We got Joey's. And with us, our good friend and special guest, James.
Very special.
Let's go, James.
Emphasis on the special.
Let's go, James. James, how do you feel? How do you feel to be on this podcast right now?
I feel
Here you
good.
are.
I've got about half a can of 150 milligrams of
There we go.
caffeine flowing
Nice.
through me. So,
Good
we're
choice.
feeling great.
Beautiful.
Shameless product placement. Please.
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with a solid monster.
True. The white monster has always been there for me. Like
Yeah.
right before bed, just
I mean, to be honest, I actually had my first white monster like less than a year ago.
dude,
Really?
they're
Yeah.
so good.
What were
Shout
your,
out to Jeff for showing me
did
those.
you instantly fall in love?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're always there for you.
I love that.
The worst of times, the best of times.
But man, what a weekend we had last weekend. The 4 of us and Milo, Brandon, and Noah, who unfortunately aren't here today.
And Peter.
And Peter. Shout out to Peter. Thank you.
Great guy.
We had the opportunity to go on the men's retreat again, and we actually got to have James come along with us for his first year. It was tons of fun, so we're going to do a quick little recap about that, just the weekend as a whole. So what were some of your guys' highlights of the trip?
Just one of them that just popped in my head was playing basketball with Wes and his older brother Tim. Just like we all used to play basketball like in each other's driveways like all the time. Like that's, I don't know about you, James, but like us growing up, like the 3 of us, like we would get together at somebody's house and then we're like, all right, we're playing some sort of game of basketball, whether it's tips or just random pickup game or just like
The best game ever.
just
too.
lowering the hoop as low as it can
Just
go.
so
we
dunk,
can-
so you feel better about ourselves.
Exactly. So that was a big highlight of just like all of us just being kids again.
Yep.
You
I think it
know,
was
that fun.
hilarious when who was lowering the hoop and they kept going. Was that
Zach was, I believe, at
yeah?
first.
And we
and
brought
then-
down to like 7 feet or 6
Yeah, somebody
feet.
walked up again and kept on lowering it some more.
Yeah. No, that was definitely basketball was a lot of fun. I always love doing that. I'm disappointed we didn't get the trikeys out this year.
Oh, the trike.
There were
That's right.
trikes.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
the back room of the gym.
Yeah. Also, really quick, just let's listen to this.
Oh,
We got ourselves
yes.
a white gummy bear rain. It's my second one of the day. That's okay though.
This is my second right there.
We're gonna get a nice crisp crack. Here we go.
ASMR.
Oh,
It's got some all over. Oh, nice. I spilled.
ooh, there's a throwback.
What?
Holes.
Oh, that
The
movie.
purple, like the purple. What did he call
We're
it?
talking
When,
about the movie holes.
Yes,
Not
the
ta-
movie holes. When
What?
when they go into the boat when they escape and they get like the purple goop and he calls it like splooge.
Oh, I do know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I have no idea.
Yeah.
What?
It's Shia LaBeouf's character and then the other guy. I don't know his name like in real life, but Zero.
Yeah.
And they
Victor
go
Zeroni.
yes,
that was his real name.
No.
they go
in
under the
movie.
boat like because that's where they were hiding from the
Oh,
sun.
I was
and they
picturing
come
an
out
actual boat.
and like it's the
Oh,
jars.
the jars that Sam
Yeah.
Sam
that
had
Sam
in his
had-
boat.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's like he called it splooge.
Yeah, it was all sludgy,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah,
And they were eating it.
It looked pretty gross.
Yeah, it kind of looked like I want to try it. It looked like jam.
Well,
You're telling
mean,
me that you'll sniff the smelling salts, but you won't try splooge?
yeah, but that looks like some weird. It doesn't look refreshing. Like if I'm in like the heat like that, I would want something like
dude, I'm
cold.
pretty sure if you're starving, anything's refreshing.
Probably actually, I would probably try it if I was in that situation.
Anyways,
Yeah.
we're talking about moments on the trip.
Yes, we were. We
What
didn't eat
was-
splooge on the trip.
James, what was one of your highlights or like a takeaway from? I guess we'll start. Was it what you expected?
What did you expect?
Disappointment.
Wow.
No, it wasn't what I expected, but I didn't really know what to expect. I guess I had expectations from like past like Bible camps that I've been to as kids. And it wasn't like that, obviously, because it's not kids there, it's adults. But it was a little different. But I mean, I had a great time. I think my favorite moments were the moments that I figured would have been my favorite, which is where like on the drive up when we were all talking, or like in the morning when we were reading our books, or like the last night when it was us two, Brandon, and just like talking on the porch, or when we went to go get the energy drinks that one day. Like just the small moments when we would just like be there talking about anything and everything, mainly nothing, but like it's those moments that like I really appreciated, that kind of fellowship with guys that you don't get to have very often, where it's just the guys just chatting away.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it is a small moment. I think one of my favorite too was that morning, Saturday morning, that we woke up and I came outside and we were all just like reading the porch, and it was beautiful outside. The weather was perfect, a little bit crispy.
Yep.
And just like nice and peaceful and quiet. Just a little recap for everyone that doesn't know. So the men's retreat is through our church we attend, and it's pretty much just a weekend in a camp in Iowa. It's called Village Creek. Shout out Village Creek. It's an amazing camp. It's like a 3.5 hour drive, beautiful drive. And it's just men for an entire weekend. And we do trap shooting, long range, short range. There's basketball, volleyball, football, airsofting, ping pong, horseback riding, all that fun stuff. It's a really great time. It's an amazing time to hang out. Well, one for all of us. Like one thing I learned about you, James, I knew you liked to read. I didn't know you liked to read that much, and I like.
I was going to bring that up.
You were going hard. That was awesome.
Yeah. What book was it again?
It's
Wait, don't tell me. Just kidding, tell me.
It's the first book in the Codex of Valera.
Okay.
It's like a 6-book series. I've read it before, but it was like over 10 years ago. And I'm in a book club, so that's the book.
That's sweet
for this month. And yeah, I was just at like sick. It's just a really good book, and you know when you get into it, you're just like you can't.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You seem locked in. That was awesome.
Yeah,
I like that. I wish I was more into books like you are.
Well, actually, I don't entirely know how to read. I've just memorized a lot of words. So,
well, then you must be doing great.
Yeah, you're getting through the book.
It's just a picture book, guys. Honestly, like it's a pop up too, like the little.
Yep.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any more highlights, and then we can kind of get into it?
Probably like the shooting was really fun. I love just like popping off shots. Just,
yeah, it's fun.
Like
you were
unloading some mags and stuff. It was super fun.
Yeah.
And then, like James said, we rode to the gas station or whatever to pick up like energy drinks. Just me and Noah were riding in the back of his truck the whole way there. Dude,
awesome.
It was so much fun. So much wind. We were getting like dust in the eye and stuff because all the roads were like gravel and stuff. So
we almost saw a conjoined cow.
Yeah, what? James thought he saw a conjoined cow.
What?
So
hold on, a conjoined cow.
Yeah, like you know.
So he thought he saw it. So we already passed the area where he saw it. So he, being James, in his truck goes off into the road, like the grass on the side of the road.
We almost fall off.
We almost like tip over because there's like a deep ditch there because he wanted to turn around and see the conjoined cow.
I didn't hear any of this.
We were about to tell you when we got back. But then we drove past the area he saw it, and it wasn't a conjoined cow.
Okay,
it was a normal cow.
That's kind of disappointing.
Hold on. Here's the thing, though. This is how I rationalized it. If it had been a conjoined cow, the payoff would have been
dude,
huge.
it would have been crazy.
It would have been so cool.
We would have taken the cow and put it in the back of your truck.
Granted, it wasn't, but had it been, that would have been just beautiful.
Right, that would have been.
Yeah.
I would have taken a lot of pictures of it.
Exactly.
Well, I'm sorry,
so
it wasn't.
It was worth the risk and almost falling into the ditch.
It was pretty.
Yeah, that actually was scary. I was like, oh, I probably.
It was an interesting ride in the back of your
Dude,
truck.
Luke and I did not know that.
I like that story. That's hilarious. I think one highlight of mine too is probably playing basketball. Also, when we were just throwing discs in the frisbee with Rich, or just out
shout
in
out
the field.
Rich.
Yeah,
Come
Rich.
Let's go, Rich.
Thanks for teaching us that fun
Yes,
game.
that was
very fun.
Just like, and also like going disc golfing too. We went disc golfing on the way on a course.
Yep.
Yeah.
To the men's street. Probably the most chaotic round we've ever played, but just a lot of fun.
The most chaotic round of disc golf.
Just the most people.
Yeah, there was so many
a lot
people.
of discs,
Yeah.
but it's
a lot
fun.
of snakes.
Yes, there were.
You found
a lot
like
of
5 or
snakes.
6.
Yeah, James knows how to pick up a snake, guys.
Yes, he does. He just
Yoink.
takes it and he picks it up.
Doink.
Yep.
Yeah, but that was a really good time. We enjoyed playing with, showing new people, or just playing with anyone. That was fun. Definitely chaotic though, in a good way.
A very non-serious game, but
yeah, that's
still
totally fine. Just
Yep.
laid back, beautiful weather. Yeah, but also along with the men's retreat, we have a speaker that comes every year, and he speaks a couple times throughout the weekend. And this year, he had the topic of Joseph, the father of Jesus, and I think he did a really great job, because Joseph actually doesn't talk at all. He's not mentioned talking in the Bible at all. It just talks about Joseph and what he did. And I really liked, does anyone remember what the pastor's name was that spoke?
His last name was Hannah.
Okay. We'll go with Pastor Hannah.
Yeah, that works.
I don't remember, but yeah, that he did a really great job, because I've never thought about the story of Joseph in the way that he spoke about it. And I knew he was an important character. He obeyed when the angels came to him and everything. But we can get into this, and we'll kind of dig into it and see what we got. So, is there anything you guys took away from the message over the weekend?
I just didn't realize, like, I knew he was an important role in that, he was the earthly father of Jesus, but it, like, when it came to the marriage aspect of it, shout out Noah aspect. When it came to the marriage aspect, that I didn't realize that, like, what he was doing by, breaking off the marriage, by, like, him deciding that, like, what that actually meant, which we'll probably get into a little bit later. But I just thought it was just showing us that, like, we need to, like, sticking to the rules and sticking to, like, what we know is true and what is right is very important. Like, I think that was a big takeaway that I had just from the get-go.
One thing that really stood out to me is how it mentions that every time that the angel appeared to Joseph, he didn't question it. He didn't second guess it. He just obeyed.
What's up, brother? That's probably what he said.
That's exactly what he said. And in the beginning of the story, it talks about, so this is all in Matthew chapter 1, verses 18 through 25. So maybe we'll pull up some verses. But pretty much to summarize, Joseph and Mary were the parents of Jesus, and Joseph was engaged to Mary. So during that time period, during the engagement, it was very serious. It was practically like they were married, and it was a big no-no if obviously they were to go and sleep with someone else, but especially if the female went and got pregnant, which in this case Mary did. So Joseph saw that as Mary was unfaithful and she was with another man. Obviously, your fiance comes to you being like, "Hey, I'm pregnant, but don't worry, it's from the Holy Spirit." And
okay,
he's
I'd
just
be pretty
like
taken back by that. I don't know what
he's
I would
like.
really think.
Yep, all right, we're gonna get a divorce. Like, who's gonna believe that? I wouldn't believe that, right?
Right.
And
Yeah, I would be very angry, I feel like.
oh yeah, and pretty much, which I didn't really realize as well. Pastor Hannah, he mentioned that there was pretty much two ways you go about this. You could get the divorce publicly, and you'd put her on the bride would be put on trial, and they would be
right.
Yeah, possibly. So first it would be, I don't know if it would go that far right away, but they would pretty much, the family would be shamed, she would be shamed, and there'd be possibly a chance for the stoning of her, which is pretty crazy.
Well, I believe he said that Joseph could have like pressed for a stoning. Like,
correct.
He could have presented and been like, "I want her to be stoned."
Yeah. And then, thank you for that clarification. And then the second option was to do it in private for the divorce. And Joseph was a respectable man, and he decided to do it in private. And that's then when the angel appeared to Joseph and was like, "Hey, man, so here's the deal. Mary's pregnant. It's not from a human. It's because of the Holy Spirit." And Joseph's like, "Cool. Thanks for the clarification. I get it." And he was obedient. He kept the marriage on, and then they were married, and they then had Jesus through his obedience. But we'll kind of get in between the whole story there with that. But that's something that stood out to me is his obedience was, no second guessing. When the angel appeared to him, he was all for it, and that's something that's very hard to do.
Yeah, first of all, if an angel came to me in a dream and told me my future wife was impregnated by the Holy Spirit, I don't know if I would wake up and be like, okay, that was true. That's real. Like, maybe I should just obey whatever my dream was. And like it would just be very strange to me. Like I would have a hard time like obeying my dream.
Yeah.
In that case, because I wouldn't like immediately go with like it was actually an angel talking to me, like, hey, this is okay, because it was the Holy Spirit that impregnated.
It just goes to show
wife.
that like Joseph's faith was so strong. That he was sticking to the rules of the law, and he knew that he needed to trust in God.
Yeah. Like
he was all in, after that the angel appeared to him in his dream.
Right.
But yeah, that it is wild. It's I can't even imagine that.
Right.
And I can actually pull up. You guys can talk. We'll read through the verses too in a second.
Okay. James, what did you think about what was I gonna say? The fact that, or like what stood out to you about Joseph? Like that was the most, like the biggest takeaway.
I don't
like
know.
something that maybe you could apply to your life, or just something that maybe you didn't know before.
I mean, I knew the story of Mary and Joseph when she was told that that's the child of God within you.
Yeah.
And like I've thought about it before, and just like the impact that would have had, because it's like it's also so much different than what it would be like today. Because today, like, you find a girlfriend on your own, you guys date for
Wait,
a
hold
while.
on a second. Question. What girlfriend? I don't see it.
Well, I'm saying this. You might want to.
We have a lack of those in this room.
We have been unsuccessful thus far.
We're 0 for 4.
I didn't really
We're
want to
doing
bring
great.
that up, but thank you for reminding me of my.
We're in this together. We're in this together, James.
Yeah, like High School Musical. Come on,
Man.
brother.
No, so like you in today's day and age, you find a girlfriend, hopefully,
Hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And you might date, and maybe sometimes it doesn't work out, maybe sometimes it does. Sorry, my phone just started ringing. And like if it doesn't work out, you guys break off, and you then hopefully find someone new. But this was so much different from that, like totally different time. Whereas like usually you were chosen to be with someone, because like back then women were given. They didn't choose who they wanted to be with. They were given by their parents to another family way before like they were even like of age to they were kids. And so their families would basically prearrange this marriage, and then they'd go like they would know like this is the person you're going to marry. And then he had mentioned something about like they'd have like kind of a ceremony, there'd be a year period, and then they'd get married. And so it was huge. And the fact that also if like the woman ever did anything to essentially dishonor or disrespect her husband, it wouldn't just reflect onto her, it would reflect onto her whole family. Like her whole family would be disgraced and almost disowned within the community. And so like this was a huge thing, not just for Mary to come out and be like, hey, I'm pregnant, but also for Joseph to then be like, okay, first of all, let's do this quietly, so that there's in this community where it's a much closer knit, like it's a small town basically,
Right.
Where everyone knows everyone. For him to be like, I'm not gonna like publicly shame you. Let's do this discreetly. I don't want you to be stoned or hurt. And it's like he showed, and the pastor had mentioned this, like he showed a lot of kindness in that, like a lot of compassion, to not like instantly get angry. I mean, maybe he did, like obviously he was probably pretty hurt and stuff like that, but like he considered her and her family in this, and didn't outwardly just act like, okay, we're done, like I'm gonna press for like a stoning or just like shame you publicly. You know, that stood out to me. That took a lot because I can't even imagine if someone were to be like, "Hey, I'm pregnant and it's the Holy Spirit." It's like I'd be like, "Nope." Also, I'm gonna write all over social media, like all about this, like to do it quietly and to like not necessarily believe her until the angel came, but like once the angel like came to him in the dream, then to just believe her. That's a lot of faith.
Yeah, that's a man right there.
It takes a lot of courage too, and that was very well said. Like it takes a lot of courage to have faith in that whole situation, because he could have took that easy way out. Like, okay, I tried. Mary was unfaithful. I'm not going to even try to believe this story that she's telling me, because like we mentioned before, it's any of us, any guy that's, you know, even, or a female or girl that's listening right now, if your significant other were to tell you that, like, we can all say it'd probably be very difficult to believe them. So the courage and the faith that Joseph had to have, and also the pastor mentioned too, how just what a great guy that Jesus picked, just because of his heart and how he went about it. Because imagine if Joseph did decide to leave Mary, like, would that have changed things? I don't know. God would obviously, you know, work things out, but you know, he stuck around to be Jesus' father and be there for Mary, which is awesome. I'll just read through these. It's not that many verses, but I'll read through. So anyone that wants to follow along, this is, like I said, Matthew chapter 1. It's going to be verses 18 through 25. So starting at 18, it says, "This is how the birth of Jesus, the Messiah, came about. His mother Mary was pledged to be married to Joseph, but before they came together, she was found to be pregnant through the Holy Spirit. Because Joseph, her husband, was faithful to the law and yet did not want to expose her to the public disgrace, he had in mind to divorce her quietly. But after he had considered this, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream and said, 'Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary home as your wife, because what is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son, and you are to give him the name Jesus, because he will save his people from their sins.' All this took place to fulfill what the Lord had said through the prophet, 'The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel,' which means God with us. When Joseph woke up, he did what the angel of the Lord had commanded him and took Mary home as his wife. But he did not consummate their marriage until she gave birth to a son, and he gave him the name Jesus." So that is the story of Joseph right there. And once again, Joseph actually isn't recorded like speaking in Matthew throughout the Bible. So that right there too is not the power of word, but power of action. We are being told Joseph's story through the power of action of how he responded in obedience to God and to what the angel was telling him, which is really crazy because, yeah, just through his actions. You guys have any thoughts on that?
I just think it's so cool how how God worked back then compared to now. Like, just like going through, whether it's a vision or a dream, that's how he used to work, and that image to me is really cool. That I was picturing myself, like, if I were to have a vision from God, like, it would be extremely clear on what I need to do. If I saw it in my dreams.
And I think really quick too, I think there are still at cases visions and dreams from God.
Sure.
I think maybe it's more common maybe during that time, but I think it's still possible.
Yeah, I agree that it's still possible. I don't know. It's always hard for me to believe. I'm a little bit skeptical. But like, yeah, it would be so cut and dry, like if God still worked exactly that way. But yeah, just like what faith Joseph had to just, he's like, all right, I'm trusting you fully. I'm just going to give this to you. And it's great motivation for us to like that's an extreme case, especially for back then. Like, yeah, who knows what could have happened, like you were saying before. That trust is just, it's really commendable.
Yeah, it's such a great story too. I mean, that's a man that we should be striving to follow after. Just obedience, faithfulness, kindness, obedience, all those amazing qualities.
Not the man, but a man.
A man, yes.
There you go.
We should be striving to be like those qualities that he had.
Totally.
And what an incredible story too. Like the outcome of his obedience and Mary's obedience, giving birth to Jesus, the Lord and our Savior. And they had that opportunity, that privilege to raise him as their son, which is probably a wild experience. I don't even know what that's like, but yeah.
Probably pretty overwhelming.
Yeah. Quick little side note. James, what I want to get back into it with you. So obviously we had you on this retreat. I don't know if I asked you, when did you grew up when did you start like believing? When did that all come out? Did you grow up in a
believing? Just seemed like a good time to chime in.
When you were born.
It was born.
Yes.
Yeah, James.
I was raised in the church, so
okay.
I don't really remember as a kid a time when I wasn't like learning about God or in church or like a Christian. So I guess from when I was a wee lad.
A wee little lad.
A little crouton. A little carb in a big carb world.
You call yourself a crouton?
Yeah.
Just a wee little crouton.
A little carb, yeah. A little carb in a big carb world.
I love that. No, that's awesome. So have you done like any retreats like this for like churches or anything, or like missions trips or anything along those lines? It's kind of like your
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, I've been like my parents as a middle child sent me off a lot. And I would go to like, I don't remember the name of like the camp. I wish I did, but like to like Bible camps for like a week or a weekend. And I've done stuff like that before. And so I've definitely experienced that. And then at the last church that I was at, the pastor had like a cabin up north, and
nice.
we'd go there and like, just whether it be strictly a men's retreat or like just like people who wanted to go with the church, we go up there, hang out, have Bible studies and sermons. So I've definitely done things like that before. But yeah.
Awesome, and I'm glad we got to have you come this year, and hopefully you can come again next with us.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Side question. So, as someone that also grew up, Christian, and like that's pretty much like the way of life that we knew. At some point in all of our journey, like we all had to decide that like we have to decide this for ourselves. As a kid, like yes, you pray with your parents, you accept the Lord into your heart, and you just kind of go through the steps because you're a kid. You don't really understand that. But did you have any moment in life where you either had that realization of like, oh, I need to do this thing. I need to get all in, or did you have like a moment in your life where you're like, where you just like kind of like re-accepted, or like a turning point maybe? Is there anything that like in your life that led you to choose Christ again, or to continue to, I should say?
Well, for clarification, I would consider myself like agnostic.
Oh, okay.
But like, so I went to church with my with my dad specifically.
Okay.
Because my parents are divorced, and he had us on like Sundays, and so we went to church with him.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were telling me that.
And so once like I moved out, which I moved out at like 19, I still went to church for a little bit after that, but then kind of stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't really gone back since. I keep in touch with a couple people from church, but at this point in my life, I come to the Bible studies and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's, for me, the Bible, whether you believe in God or not, the Bible is a book full of like teachings and parables and really good messages. And I enjoy, because I know them, because again, I was from like
grew up with them.
being born to like almost
Crouton,
19.
gotcha.
Yeah, a little crouton. Like
Yeah.
I was in church, and so like just discussing them, talking through the teachings, getting different opinions, because in our men's Bible study, there's a lot of guys from like different beliefs.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's nice to for one, be in a group where we can talk about just the different parables or teachings, but also it's nice to be able to have a discussion.
Right. Like this.
No one's coming at it and like with like shoving their opinion down their throat. It's like, here's my opinion, here's yours. And then we just talk about it. And that's really nice. I enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
So for me, not really answering your question, but
no, I mean you're getting to you're getting to it.
For me, it's more of just like I truly enjoy, I guess, being challenged in the way that I think, and then hearing other people's different like thoughts on whether it be scripture or just like life in general. That's really what I enjoy and get out of it.
Yeah,
because like
totally.
I'm not right. Like, I'm not confident that I'm like the right one in the way that I think. And so it's like, yeah, let me hear what you have to say and like, you know, challenge me on that.
Totally.
Yeah. And that shows, I mean, with any like belief or thought process, you know, we as Christians or someone just in general, people in general should have that mindset to be able to come into a conversation, into a discussion with an open mind and with love. And if you can do that, I think the world's gonna be a happier place, and you can really get to know someone a lot better too. And you can actually get to then know their point of view and know their side. And maybe, just maybe, you'll learn something. And that's always a good thing. And maybe they can learn something about you. So go into conversations with love, go into conversations with doing your best to understand their point of view and their belief, and just have a conversation, you know?
Yeah.
Talk about it, have a good time, get to know someone better. I want to take even a little more of a little twist here. So I met James how long? 2 years ago at the gym? 3, 2?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. A couple years ago at the gym.
I think it's more like it's no more than 2.
Okay.
Because I've only actually October 8th was the 3rd year since I started working out. So
right around that time.
Yeah, I don't think I met you right when I started going there.
Okay. Well, we met a couple years ago at the gym. Number one thing I know about James, great beard. Look at that beard. The camera's going to go right on. Look at that beard.
Beautiful.
I didn't have a beard when he met me.
Well, he has a beard now.
I had long hair and I was
If you're listening, pause Spotify, go to YouTube.
Yeah,
do
look at the
yourself a
beard.
favor.
I
Look
looked
at
like
that
the
thing.
transition
It's like
of Smeagol when he was
No.
going from like a halfling to Smeagol. Like, I was not a good looking guy. Like, I'm a solid 4 at this point, but I was definitely in the
No.
2 range. It was
Dude,
rough.
2.
look at that beard. You can get lost in there, man. Anyways,
I get lost in
that's
there.
a great beard.
I know.
I will say one thing about James that I absolutely love, is because I typically go to the gym after work, and I'll go right from work to the gym. And as we all know, like, we can all have long days, bad days at work, just where you're not having the best day. And there'll be times I'll show up to the gym just like not in the best of moods, and I'll just walk into the gym floor. I'll start working out, and I'll just see James just halfway across the gym, just doing this. Just like
Binoculars.
Not make your day very
just
like,
peering behind some equipment, just staring at me.
Or
And
he'll just
it-
get a picture.
Yeah,
That's
James
true.
will
Of
send me.
himself.
James will send me pictures
of him.
halfway across the gym of me working out.
Oh, gotcha.
And it's funny though. James makes my day. He makes me smile every time, and I appreciate that about you, James. And I always love seeing him there because it changes from a bad mood to an instant smile, just like that. So I appreciate that about you, James. And keep doing that.
I will.
Keep making people smile. Keep having a great beard. Keep doing that. But that was just a little side quest there about meeting you at the gym, and then
Amazing.
And then here we are
Yep.
on a podcast. Look at that. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Not me.
So you said you've been working out for 3 years?
It was 3 years, October 8th. This
I would have thought more.
Nice.
You progressed well.
Oh, thanks.
Yes.
Look at those arms.
Yeah, look at those arms.
I don't take compliments well.
Just say, okay.
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 Okay,
Yeah.
Patty.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else you guys have from just the message itself over the weekend for the retreat?
I don't. One thing about. Did you have something to say?
No, you did
Okay.
not see my hand move.
Cool. I was gonna say one thing about the retreat that was really cool is that, you know, like you think, oh, like a men's retreat, like it's just a bunch of bros and guys being dudes, and that's just like it's all about fun. But then we had like a really intimate night one night where a lot of the guys got up to pray. I'm gonna just power through this. So like everyone got up to pray, and there were people up front that was like in front of the worship that were praying for other men, and like some guys broke down, and it's just, if you've ever seen a grown man cry, it's not great. No one's excited to see that. No, like it's hard to watch, like for sure. So it was just cool to see a big, like, was it like 90 guys were there?
I think there was 90? Almost 100.
Yeah, it was
almost
like
100
a couple short of 100.
Right. So it's like, it was cool to see that, you know, we could all be so vulnerable and like be in that moment together, pray for each other. And like, it was like, it's always uncomfortable for me, like when people put their hands on me while like people are praying, you know, like of just like an endearment thing. And then like I just found myself like just going up and doing that for someone because like specific people needed prayer for something. I'm sorry?
Did you
put my hand on someone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. And like that I don't know, it was like kind of out of my comfort zone. So it was kind of cool to see that like I knew the right thing to do, and instead of not doing it, I just went ahead and did it because like I knew I needed to do it.
Kind of like how he was saying, you can either I might butcher this, but it was like you can either define, like let the moment define you, or you can define the moment.
Yeah.
Right.
And actually, to that point is like one of the, I've struggled with this for a long time, as long as I can remember. But when everyone was praying, and there was one guy in front of me and slightly to my left, and he had raised his hand for whatever the pastor had said, if you
need prayer,
if you need prayer. And I felt a calling to everyone who was next to me to kind of like nudge them and be like, let's go over and like put our hands on him, because he had only one guy that was next to him put his hand, and I in that moment, like I was like, I'm not gonna do it, but like I felt such a strong calling to like get everyone to do that, and I'm a little bummed that I didn't, because I felt like, it would have been fine. Like I'm sure he would have appreciated it, but I kind of just shut that down and didn't actually grab everyone to go. But I wish that I had, because like it was just one guy. Like everyone else had like 6 people around him, and it was just this guy who was just one, and I was like, I feel like we should just go support him, but I didn't. So
it's all right,
I'm
though,
glad that you went and you did that,
because something I've learned recently is that like when God gives us opportunity to do something good to glorify him and to like just do something, wholesome, even if you decide not to do it the first time, like if you like selfishly and sinfully be like, oh, like I'm not doing that, that's outside of my comfort zone, God's funny in the way that he's going to like bring that opportunity back.
Yeah.
Like I recently, it was on a few podcasts ago, but I recently ran into a situation where this guy needed help. The first time I did not help him. I was too tired from work. And then I saw him in the same exact spot, just on a late night walk. And I was like, okay, I have to do this. And then I had that opportunity. So you don't know, like, yes, you didn't do that, but it's, God could give you another opportunity in another area of your life of you to show comfort to someone. Maybe someone at the gym is having a bad day. You see it on their face, and you can go over there and be like, hey, like, what's going on?
Yep.
Which you are good at. So
it's like a it's like a swing and a miss, but it's in a good way that we're learning from what the opportunity we missed, and then we can catch it for the next time.
Yeah. And
I've had plenty of those moments. And I think that's just a learning experience for all of us. And totally. I do want to bring it back to just that night with just the prayer. It's something really powerful to see just a group of guys all together. Just
a really big spider over there, by the way.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's huge.
Is it getting closer?
It's not that big. Oh. It's really not.
We're gonna take care of that later.
All right, we were praying.
One of my favorite parts too is just the singing of just all the men. I really enjoy that. And, men just opening up and being vulnerable, I think I have a lot of respect for that. And it's like you mentioned before, being uncomfortable. That's so important. Like you went and did something by praying for someone, putting your hand on someone, which you don't necessarily like to do, but it's by getting uncomfortable that allows us to grow.
Yeah.
And I think that's crazy. A great experience.
It's crazy how like everything like not always it's going to be like a super hard challenge for you, like glorifying God.
Yeah.
But like a lot of times it's like you have to put the effort in to go out of your comfort zone and do that. And like me personally, I definitely have a hard time like getting out of my comfort zone and like actually doing stuff like that. Like I feel like if I was in your position there, James, like I probably wouldn't have done it either, because I have like a really hard time with actually doing something when I like feel like I'm getting called to go do something like that. So
do we ever, I mean, can we think off the top of our head, anytime we did something like that, do we ever regret it?
No, never.
Nope.
I don't think I ever have.
And that's the crazy thing, is like, it's uncomfortable. We don't want to do it, but we have that feeling in our gut and we absolutely know.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we do that, however it may look, I don't think I've ever regretted a moment like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that night was awesome. Just a really powerful, moment. God was there for sure, moving, and yeah, just another encouragement, get uncomfortable like Joey was talking about. And maybe if we have an opportunity like James, we're going to miss opportunities. It's going to happen, but we can pray and ask God to present more opportunities, and we can know what to look for. And hopefully the next time we can go about it in the correct way and see what happens, by getting uncomfortable and growing. Really quick too, we had some goals. I know the previous podcast, I don't know if you guys remember, we talked about, I don't know, Joyce and I mentioned it on the podcast, and
I think we kind of talked about it before we left the house here, about like, hey, like,
yes, we did.
What are some goals?
Yes, we did. We circled up.
Yeah.
Around the cars. Okay. Did anyone have a goal during the men's retreat that you guys either accomplished, didn't accomplish, forgot about?
I think I accomplished that with James. Yeah, you. That Saturday night where it was just you, me, and Brandon, and Wes, where we were all just kind of having that intimate conversation. That was my goal, of just like, whether it's someone I've known for 20 years, or if it's someone, that was me, whether I've known them for just a handful of years, or if it's someone I don't know. I just wanted to have an open, honest conversation, and I feel like I achieved that. So completed the goal. And I just, getting to know you better was really cool, because I've always wanted to get to know you better. And yeah, so thank you for helping me accomplish my goal of talking to someone more intimately.
Yeah. And you were talking to that guy around the campfire too,
Nathan.
that one night too.
That's true. Yes.
Yeah,
Shout out to my boy
really cool.
Nathan. Yeah. He was telling me about his Bible study that he was in. He was just like kind of just describing about what that looked like, and we were just and I was like, oh yeah, I'm also in a Bible study. So I guess in two different ways, like someone I didn't know I got to meet, and then and I know James, so so I kind of did a little 2 for 1 there. So yes, thank you. I forgot about that. I don't know how I did, but I did.
Mine was meeting someone new. So I met this guy Zach, who, funny enough, actually was homeschooled, and he played on the homeschool basketball team.
Nerd.
For anyone who don't know, I was homeschooled for quite a while. I homeschooled.
Nerd.
Tell him.
Absolutely.
Get him, James.
And I got to meet this really cool guy, Zach, who I think I've probably seen before. He actually played on my sister Sarah's basketball.
Oh, really?
Well,
Nice.
his younger sister played on my sister Sarah's basketball team. And I'm sure I saw him around, but we got to kind of reconnect one of the nights playing basketball. We were covering each other, and I thought he looked familiar, and we started talking. So that was cool. We got to get to know him a little bit better. And then I met Nathan, and then I think we met Sam.
True.
Shout out to Sam.
Shout out Sam.
This is actually
Carry
funny.
on my wayward
This is actually a funny
son.
story. So we met a new friend, Sam, at the men's retreat, and it turns out
How did we meet him?
we were talking to Tyler and Logan,
Yeah, that's right.
and
Yep.
you were looking for agates.
Yep.
Nothing
Sure was.
new.
Yep.
And
They're licking rocks.
it turns out that this guy Sam actually followed our podcast, and he would leave a bunch of comments, which is awesome. Thank you for that.
Keep it up, boy.
So we got to meet him. We got to know him a little bit better. And he told us that he actually does interviews with some celebrities, which is pretty sick, which is really cool.
What's his channel? I'm going to look up his
Yeah,
channel.
look up his channel. Give him a shout out.
Keep telling the story.
And we were talking. He said that he was actually doing an interview for some of the Power Rangers. I don't know which Power Rangers they
It was
were.
the blue.
Blue
But
one?
he said
Yeah.
that the blue Power Ranger actually follows our YouTube account. So not a big deal. We're famous now.
Massive
We
deal.
have the Blue Power Ranger following us.
So yeah, Wayward Fanboy is his, and we actually got him to 1K over the weekend, which is awesome. So he has 1,000 followers or subscribers on YouTube.
So that was pretty cool. Funny story. So, we got practically the entire Power Ranger team supporting us.
Yeah, we do.
So if anyone ever comes at us, you're going to have an entire Power Ranger squad just wrecking you. So,
but yeah, he does like a lot of interviews with
Famous people.
famous people. Yeah.
yeah. So that was this kind of funny, cool connection right there.
Super.
What's up?
I was just pointed at
Oh.
him.
Huh?
Huh?
What?
Huh?
Dude, I love that guy.
Also, ping pong. That was one of my highlights too. Dude, I absolutely I play ping pong once a year now at the men's retreat.
It was definitely
And-
intense to watch. You guys were going hard.
Shout out Pastor Jason if you watch this. Those
he
are
get
some
smoked?
great. I won this year.
Yeah, did he
Last
get
year he
smoked?
beat me 2 out of 3. This year I won 2 out of 3.
Do you think he
Those are
watches
some.
this?
Maybe that'd be cool.
Jason, you got smoked, dog.
I don't know. I would say smoke. Those are some great games. And I took out Pastor Jason, and then Ethan. Ethan, you
Yep.
dog. I was gonna sweep Ethan away, and he beat me like 3 out of 4 games, I think it was.
Okay.
And
Dang.
then that was that. So I lost the tournament after Ethan beat me. So, but I always love ping pong. We have some really great games. It's always a lot of fun.
Also, shout out to the Pops for being there at the men's retreat. I know it's a special thing for the both of us. So thank you for showing up this year and just having that time together. It was cool.
Maybe you can call him and thank him.
We
gonna go
already
over
got
three.
pod.
We already had a father on here.
Oh, for 3, Joey?
Did you see that pod where I tried to call my dad and he didn't pick up?
No.
2
And
times.
then the next time I tried calling my mom, she also did not pick up.
Oh.
So I'm not even gonna go near my phone.
Okay. I thought it was really cool that your dad came, and watching your guys' interactions was really nice.
Yeah, we know how to have fun.
Yeah. Filski.
He's
great.
just like, like when he's around all of us, he doesn't really feel like my dad, which is cool.
Yeah.
He feels like he's like, I don't want to say like an older brother, but he feels like my dad, but at the same time, it's just like I'm at the point with him where I can fully be myself.
Yeah.
And it's just
That's
like,
awesome.
it's just that like, I don't like being something I'm not. I don't like phoniness. I don't like being fake. Like, I don't want to be one person and then behind my dad's back, I'm another person. So like, I love that I can be who I am around my parents. But yeah, he's a great guy. Oh, he's a great guy.
Oh,
Oh,
great
he's
guy.
a great guy.
James, I got another question for you.
Wait.
Kind of switching it up a little bit more
Wait.
too. Oh, yeah.
You.
What,
You.
the goal? I failed my goal.
Hey,
Anyways, what was your question, Luke? Well done, buddy.
but we did a lot of other good things.
Well,
there,
what was
so.
your goal?
My goal was to like memorize a verse that like truly meant something to me and like actually memorize it. But I like ended up continuing on through a continuation of what we were talking about for like the sermon and stuff. Like I just kept on reading.
I mean,
those
that's like
verses. I didn't
a
really memorize anything, but I just kind of like kept
nice
on
little
reading.
side quest there.
Yeah, it was,
I
it was
mean,
pretty cool. But
did you take something away from it?
I mean, yeah, throughout the whole men's retreat, like in all.
So maybe you,
I'm gonna-
you failed your goal, but you achieved that.
I saw it in the corner of my eye.
Yeah. Well, joke's on James. Whoever the camera's on, that's who's being shown. James over here. Luke, you'll have to cut this. All right. Cut.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely took away like some like good stuff other than like my actual goal, what that would have been.
Yeah.
If I would have accomplished that, but I think I will continue that goal for next year.
Yeah.
and
That's
maybe that's where God was just leading you. Like he wanted you to continue that story,
Mm-hmm.
and that's totally fine. I mean,
Like it's a great story to like continue to read too. So like I definitely got something out of that. So
absolutely.
Mhm.
James, what's something? Like, what's just something? It can be in anything. Like, what's something, a goal you have, or like something that you've been excited about or like working on, just like in life.
Master Prestige. I don't know, something like that.
Like, it'd be work, the gym, personal life, family.
I
Book club.
Book club. I think the one place I set like actual goals would be the gym. I've got more long-term goals with like wanting to hit a certain weight. I don't have like a time frame on any of them. I'm just constantly working towards them. I've got short-term goals of like wanting to like move up to the next weight with like maybe like benching, or I don't squat because of my back, but like so like stuff like that. But work-wise, I don't know. I just started being, the career of an electrician, so just making sure I don't disappoint Jeff every single day is a real big goal of mine. But in terms of like life goals, I don't really set any. I think though recently I've just realized that like I am in a very, very great place in my life right now. And I was thinking about this a lot at the men's retreat too, because it's I've very slowly built.
I think our neighbor just died.
There's some ruckus going on over there.
Fall down their stairs.
That would be hilarious. You just hear.
There's just they come through the wall.
There's no way I couldn't ignore that.
Kool-Aid Man style. Oh yeah. Anyways, before I was so rudely interrupted by him dying, I think it took a long, long time, but I built a very like solid and good like social, I guess, group for myself, of all different aspects and points of life. Like I'm very, very close with my brothers. I've got friends from the gym, you guys. It's the group that I have is very, very, and with everyone in that group, I feel just like at a very good place with them. I feel very happy and satisfied in life, which was not something that I am used to feeling. Like I was always used to feeling like there was something that like I was missing or wanting, and I don't really necessarily feel that anymore. Like if you had talked to me when I was, I don't know, like 6-7 years ago, like I was a guy that, sorry buddy, would just come home, play video games and just like I was miserable. I was so miserable. But like I can genuinely say that like each and every day, like I'm truly enjoying life, whether it be work, friends, the gym, just like I have such a positive and healthy lifestyle nowadays. And I think just sitting back and appreciating that has been something that I've really been enjoying recently.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you. That can be really difficult to have. And I know at all times I'm not always feeling that, but that's so cool. And that's one reason why I'm going to ask too, because I feel like a lot of times we always skip over that with talking to people. It's always like, oh, how's this or that going? But it's like, how are you doing? And like, how are you generally feeling about things? Are you happy? And I'm super happy to hear that you're happy. And I'm glad that I got to meet you as a friend, the couple of years, whenever it was. And I'm excited to see our friendship progress over the years, and just like the time we get to spend to get to know each other more. And I feel very extremely blessed with the people I have in my life. You guys, people from church, Bible study, my family, just everyone that's in my life. I know God's place for a reason. And it's so, so important to appreciate the people that you have in your life, because it's sad to think about, but you don't know how long those people are going to be in your life for. And there's seasons. People are going to come and they're going to go. And friends are going to come and go. And that's okay though. That's perfectly fine. You're going to meet someone, they're going to move away, they're going to get married. At some points they might pass away. And we're not all on this earth forever, but really, really enjoy those friendships and invest into those friendships and go love those people, because we're very blessed for our friends. We're very blessed for our family, and we have people that love us, and we have the opportunity to go love other people too. Yeah. So I'm so happy that you're enjoying life and everything right now. So that's awesome.
And to go off of your point, being okay with change is very important to learn, because like you were saying that, they might get married, or maybe even some people will have kids. Shout out Aiden and Grace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Grace is pregnant.
Grace is pregnant.
Grace is pregnant.
That's exciting.
Pregnant.
Congratulations.
They are with child.
I just haven't seen him for a while.
That's cool. I saw him today, and he told me. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So shout out.
There we go.
Great
That's
job,
huge.
guys.
Massive.
Amazing.
Come on, Aiden.
But being okay with change doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. Like someone might get married and their priorities might change, but that doesn't mean that they're necessarily leaving your life. Correct. It's just the dynamic of your guys' friendship might change. And I've experienced that a lot with like a lot of people in my life. Specifically, actually, I was just talking to my friend, Janice.
Yeah, I haven't seen her for a while.
And she'll be there tomorrow, but you don't come in on weekends.
That's correct.
Sorry. So like our friendship, actually, we've been friends for 3 years. Just recently, and our friendship has changed over those 3 years, and not necessarily in a bad way, but like a very good and healthy way, where it's like at first I was thinking, or I would think that like any kind of change, whether it be a friendship or a dynamic in a group, will be bad. And I really struggle with change. I'm a big fan of consistency, especially with like people. Like I don't like inconsistencies in people or things. And so change is very difficult for me, but learning that that's not necessarily bad. Like if someone gets married and they don't have much time, it's like, that doesn't necessarily mean that you guys, they're not no longer in your life. It just means that the time that you guys now share together is sometimes even just that much more special. And like, it's not necessarily about quantity. It can sometimes just be about quality. And like learning that was not only very difficult for me, but when I finally, it finally clicked, I was just like, oh my gosh, like it just like, I felt like almost like not all at once, but I realized there was a lot more peace in my life where I was like, it's okay. Like this isn't bad. Change isn't bad. It just like, it might even hurt a little bit, but it's not bad. Sometimes it's very good.
Right. Well said. And change can open up doors for new opportunity. Maybe by a friend leaving, maybe they weren't the best of friends. Maybe they were holding you back or something. But maybe by opening up new doors to meet new people, you have whole new opportunities for job opportunities, relationship opportunities, just bettering your life. Like, change isn't always bad. Change can be bad if you're changing something for the worse. But just learn to be okay with, like we said, change. Appreciate the people you have in your life. The time that you're in. Be in the moment, and love the people that you have, because we don't know what the tomorrow's going to bring. Yeah, we just have the moment right now. So, well said.
Yeah, whether it's good or bad change too, you can always learn something from it.
Exactly, exactly. Have an open mind. Be willing to learn and be willing to learn, move forward, and try to do the best you can.
Yeah.
Could I talk a little bit about change for a second?
And action.
And we're back. That was not just a massive cut.
Sure wasn't.
Yeah, we didn't cut anything.
We've been here the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time.
Yep. No, this is an uncut episode of the podcast.
So yes, speaking about change, I don't know how far I'll get into this. This could be a whole podcast, but 9 years ago today, my sister passed away. So today is the big day of change. 9 years ago, my life completely changed. And looking back at it now, I see the bigger picture of that change. And obviously you guys have seen that. At first, that journey was not easy. That it's still not easy. I won't get too much into detail. We can say that for another day. But I just wanted to say that yes, change is good, and as hard and as awful as it is, that we may not see the fruits. You could say the fruits of that change until years later. Years down the road, we won't know its purpose, but I know that having gone through that, I am now more than ever, I've been seeing the fruits of that change, and I know how it's changed me as a person, how it's changed my family dynamic, how it changed my outlook, my perspective, everything. But I just wanted to get that out there and to just say that embrace the change that you're going through right now, because there will be a brighter side to it. You can't necessarily see it at first, and it's going to be difficult. It's going to suck. You're going to possibly hate life, but you will get through it. Surround yourself with good people, like James was saying. Find those people that you're comfortable with and that you're confident that they have your back and you have theirs, because those are the people that are going to get you through it. So surround yourself with that community. Reach out to that friend and appreciate that time, like that Luke was saying, that appreciate your family, appreciate your friends, tell them that you love them, and that embrace the change, because one day you'll eventually see, the good that comes from it, as bad as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Bomb dropped.
And you have people that love you
Yes.
and that appreciate you, and we all have people that love and appreciate us, and that was very well said. And thank you again for sharing that.
Yes, sir.
And
We'll save that for another pod.
yeah, and I hope anyone listening, just a reminder again, like Joey's just said, it's so important to just be there for the people you love, you appreciate, and make that extra phone call, send that extra text, make that extra trip. Spend time with people you love and you care about, and tell them that you love them and you care about them. Show them that you love and care about them. Mm-hmm. God has placed these people in our lives for a reason, and we're blessed. And I know relationships and certain situations aren't always the best, but make the best out of them. Make the best out of them. So, but we'll switch it up here a little bit. So,
all joking aside,
Yes.
Joseph,
Yes.
you are loved.
James, you are loved. James and I, we've had a very funny start to our relationship where I don't know what it was about James, but I would see him and I just felt that I needed to tell him that he was loved. And so I think like pretty early on in our friendship, like we'd always just be joking around, but like I remember just telling you that one day, and like I just kind of just kept saying it every time I saw you. And like I truly don't know why I started saying that,
One
James.
fateful Wednesday night, he was just, I think you were walking out and you go, James, you are loved. Have a great night. And just leaves. And I was like,
Huh?
dude, it's like 8:30 on a Wednesday. What are you, okay? Cool.
But like, yeah, like that's God working in my life, right? Like that's not me, that's God giving me that. I don't know what
that
it
little
is exactly.
push.
Yeah, the little
do something.
that booster,
yeah.
dual booster that you need.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just something about you. I just felt called. Like I was like, all right, I don't know why I need to say this. I'm really spontaneous like that, where I'll just say things. So
Well,
it could have been something like that.
inside thing here, but that was a kind of a dark time in my life, and like at the time I was like, dude, I don't even know you.
Right?
Yeah.
What do you, like I know of you, but like I don't know you. But like at that time, very like just a low point in my life, and it was like this bright little moment, and then like he did it again another time, and then from that point on, every time I saw him, like it was almost like I looked forward to it, and it was just like, it was just like nice, and you don't always think that those moments will mean something, and I from the people that I've just talked to in my life, when they might not think that they're doing enough in their life, or wondering what they could do to help people, and they're always thinking, almost like 9.9 times out of 10, they think that they need to like do this big grand thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realize just how much like the little tiny moments mean to someone else, because it doesn't have to mean anything to you. It just has to mean something to the other person that you're doing it to. And it could be as simple as smiling at someone that you're passing on the street and they haven't seen like a kind human gesture in gesture. Because
They're guessing on what they're doing.
They haven't seen someone smile at them for weeks, or like maybe they just don't have like a very good life at home, and your smile it means the most to them. And so whether you think it's big or not, it doesn't matter. Just like those small little moments can mean so much to something. And now I've got a fantastic relationship with him. He's a great friend, and
Still equally weird.
Yeah, still equally weird, but that's the best part about Joseph. And like
Appreciate
I
you,
get
brother.
every now and again to be told that I'm loved, and he gets to be told that he's loved. Like it's just
we
it's
go.
those little moments that mean the most, you know?
Jane's spitting some fire over there. Let's
I
go.
know, all right, clip that.
Let's go.
Come on, son.
Come on.
Yes, absolutely. That's what gets me pumped right there. It's like
Seriously.
the little things. You
Yeah.
couldn't have said that any better, James. It's the little things
Yeah.
that really mean a ton. And obviously it's, there can be certain times for like bigger things you can do for people, but like it doesn't take much to say like you're loved. It takes literally a second.
Mhm.
To smile at someone takes a second. And it's good for you and it's good for those people. So even if you don't know them, like Joey didn't really know you didn't really know him. And sure, maybe it was like a little weird at first, but you appreciate it. And you said you were in a low point in your life. And maybe that's exactly what you needed.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe you didn't know that. And now you have that in the back of your head. And maybe now you go and smile and tell someone else that they're loved. And it's just this huge chain effect.
Yeah.
And it's breaking the cycle of all this negativity and hate and this, surface level stuff. It's like, just do the little things, and you can also build up to the bigger gestures and when it's necessary. Yeah. But do those little things, because people remember those things for sure. You're gonna remember that.
Yep,
that's awesome. I'm gonna remember that.
I'll never forget it. Yeah,
Love
and
it.
for those that don't know, Joseph, he's such like a genuine human being.
It's my favorite word, by the way. Thank you for using
you're
that.
welcome. Like absolutely, just as you were saying, like you don't like when people aren't basically consistent, and like you are such a like a beautifully genuine person where like when you said that, like obviously in the moment I was like, that was a little weird, but like I felt it. Like I felt that you meant it. Like you truly meant it. And you can just tell when you meet him, he's like, there's just so much kindness and gentleness in this man. And that's very hard to find nowadays. So if you don't know him, you guys should also follow him on Instagram. He's got a cool rock page.
Yeah, he does.
That's why we keep
Joe
him
the Rock
around.
Guy.
That's why we keep him around.
Yeah.
That's why we let him into the house
Also
at
got a
night.
great smile.
Using the
I
first
appreciate
rocks.
that.
Yeah, we only use Joey's first rocks.
Right.
That's fine.
He finds all the
keep
rocks
finding them.
and we collect them.
That's totally
right,
fine.
right.
Yeah. No, thank you for that, James. That
Thanks,
was
James. Appreciate it, man.
that was amazing. Let's get into some listener questions
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Yeah,
Boom.
Questions.
I'm trying to remember like the beat to that.
Bobby Lee.
Bum, ba-da-bum, bum, 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 bum. All right, here we go. We can just all answer this. I mean, we don't all have to answer it, but all right. What is your favorite book in the Bible?
Ooh.
Friends, I will start. I will go with Job, because the story of Job is awesome. We talk about it a lot on this podcast. It should be called the Job podcast. It's a great reference, and it's really applicable to our lives. And I think that kind of like that change of like, we can go through these trials that I was talking about before. Like we can go through these trials and God's going to bless us on the other side. We may not see it at the time, but as long as we continue to stay faithful and to keep pushing on, that like God's got our back. So that book is awesome for that.
You took mine. So I'm going to take a second to...
Well, no, say, what do you get out of Job?
Yeah, that's fine. You can have the same one.
For a similar reason like Joey's, Job is it's very frustrating.
Yes.
When you read Job, I know we did a men's Bible study in that too, and we just kind of dived into a couple of the chapters, but Job's a longer book, and pretty much a quick summary is the devil's prowling the earth, and he's looking for someone pretty much to devour, and God's like, hey, I have a great man for this. My man Job over here, great follower, great servant. He serves me. He loves me. He's obedient. Boom. There you go. The devil asks pretty much like the devil is trying to pretty much get Job to curse God, right? Job has a very high status. He's wealthy. He has livestock. He has a wife. He has lots of kids. Everything's going very well. Satan's trying to prove to God that, hey, things are going well. He's worshiping you. Let's see what happens when things go not so well, and I'll get him to curse you. And God says, you have free roam. An important thing, God allows. God does not have to. He allows Satan to test Job. He says, you can do whatever you want. Do not kill Job, though. Satan just rolls up like the guy he is, and he takes away all the livestock, destroys his house, takes away all of his kids, kills all of his kids, and Job continues to praise God through it all, which is just mind-blowing. He does question why these things happen. He is confused. There's a long part in the book when he's talking with his friends, trying to figure out, why is God doing this, allowing this to happen? But he stays faithful, and he does not curse God, and he continues to praise him. And that's just a huge reminder when I have little things in my life going on, that Job went through these things, and he still continued to praise God. Why am I complaining and be mad at God when I didn't have anything even remotely close to what Job had happen to him. So it's a nice reality check. It's a nice reminder that, yes, life can suck. Bad things can happen. But we need to make sure that we're praising God in the best parts of our lives and in the worst parts of our lives. Because God is faithful all the time, no matter what. And therefore, we should be consistently praising God no matter what.
Very well said.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Anyone else have a favorite book? Or
I can't really necessarily pick a favorite, I guess. I don't know. There's just like so many good stories in there, so it's like, I don't know. I have a hard time like actually picking one.
All of them.
All of them are my favorite.
Like the Bible.
the Bible one?
Yeah,
cool.
That'll do.
This always sounds just so like, I don't know, egotistical or prideful, but I think I have gotten the most out of the book of James.
Hold on a second.
Hold on. Wait a minute. There are so many teachings in there that have either made me stop and go, like, just really think about it. And I feel like there's a lot of wisdom in that book. And I have always gotten so much out of that book. So I'm going to have to go with my own book.
That's a good pick. Absolutely.
Really fair. All right. Switching gears a little bit here. More of a fun one. James, how into Star Wars are you? Scale 1 to 10.
I'm very into Star Wars.
Yes,
okay.
he is.
Have you seen Clone Wars?
Yeah, buddy.
Okay.
Like
so
5 times.
We'll kick Wes to the curb here.
He doesn't like the animation.
First seasons
All right.
I've seen now.
One viewer asks, I want to know which clone from Clone Wars you think has the most tragic death.
That's such a good question.
And that's a tough question.
That's such a good question. Let's get into this.
First one that pops into my head is no. It's the
99.
Is that the deformed one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. When he's going to get more weapons and everything. Oh my goodness.
Sucks.
It's like so tragic.
Yeah.
Like I truly believe he died like a true clone, but like
True.
it's just like it was such an unfair death. Like
Yeah.
he did not deserve that. He deserves so much better. And I think that's like a part of like deaths in movies that I hate is when like the character didn't deserve it. And like he truly did not deserve that.
Sure.
And we'll give you a quick little context here, Wes. So Clone 99, he was pretty much like a deformed clone. Like he didn't make the cut for
Hunchback
training.
of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Like,
So he stayed in Camino and he pretty much just did whatever to help out at the facility.
Janitor.
And he
clean
janitor.
up. Yep.
Okay.
They got attacked at Camino, their home planet, and they were being attacked, and Clone 99 came to help out by like giving out weapons and everything to the clones.
He saved them essentially. Yeah.
Right.
He brought them what they needed. He went to go get more, and he just got lit up in the back as he was just like sacrificing himself to help him out. It was really cool because
that's crazy.
He felt like he finally got a fight with his brothers, and that one made it like really emotional. That's what first came to thought. I would say.
Can I share mine next?
Yeah.
Because I can't really think of one only except for this is it's not actually Clone Wars though, it's Bad Batch.
Oh.
Yeah.
When Tech dies.
Yep, that was gonna be.
He's like hanging from this
cable
train
thing.
cable. Yeah, this train cable. And he basically has to like shoot the cable to save everyone else. So he just like absolutely like sacrifices himself for the rest of them. And that's like the one I can think of right now.
And what he
I wouldn't
says,
say it's the most tragic, but like what he says. Yeah, what is? How am I gonna pull it up?
Wrecker is like telling him,
Wrecker,
like you don't need to do this or whatever. And Tech says back, when have we ever followed orders? And that was always their thing, where they'd always disobey orders, go do their own thing, and he just lets go, and you just get to see him fall down to his death, and that's
oh dang it.
I'll just go with like the big answer. I'll go with 5s.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one. Actually,
I mean, yeah, definitely
before.
a tragic.
Yeah, I mean,
Very tragic.
5s had it figured out. He had it figured out. He was going a little bit crazy, just a little bit, because no one believed him. And then Anakin was trying to like see what was going on, but they didn't quite understand or believe him. And then
Oh man,
when he was passing, when he's like, the dreams, the nightmares, they're finally gone. And then he passes away. That was, yeah.
See, that's the beauty of the Clone Wars, is that like in the movies, clones are clones, and you get a little with like Rex and Cody, but like the Clone Wars, for characters that are not supposed to matter, it gives characters that are like literally disposable. It gives them like a personality. Like 99, he's not like technically he doesn't matter, but it makes us care about them.
Right.
It makes them people and individuals, which is all that like the clones were trying to be throughout the Clone Wars. Is like because like a lot of like the bad guys are like that one Jedi that just slaughtered them. The Krell or whatever, General Krell.
Yeah.
Like he would just call them by their number because they had numbers, but they give themselves names. Like because they were trying, their whole thing is like they are people. Like even though they're all the same, they're all different, you know? And it's just like it went so deep into that. And that's like one of the coolest parts of Clone Wars.
Such a good show.
Yeah, it's such a good show.
If you have not watched Clone Wars,
go watch it.
It adds so much to Star Wars. But that's for another,
especially the
topic.
last season.
Oof.
Oh,
best season.
Just
please,
delicious.
I'm gonna, but Luke knows what he has to do first.
Yes, let her Kenny. I'll get to it. I will. I will.
Awesome show.
But are there any more questions?
No, I mean if there's I think we open up the floor to
just 2 questions
that I had.
Oh,
let's do I think we're at a pretty good point. James, do you have
closing statements?
Any?
That's what I was gonna say.
Any wrap up kind of?
I would say specifically going back to the men's retreat. That I like. It was, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me.
You're welcome. Of course.
I don't have many like groups of friends that are just guys, and so going on a retreat. First of all, out into like the middle of nowhere in Iowa where there's no cell reception. That was fantastic. Actually, one of my goals was just to like, whatever I was doing, just like enjoy it, you know, whether it be, because there are times when I would fight with myself and be like, okay, maybe like I should, because everyone else is going to go do airsofting. Like maybe I should. And I was like, like I really just want to go read right now and relax. And like, I took that weekend to just like, be there in each moment and just really enjoy whatever I was trying to do. And it was just such a great weekend. But being out in the middle of nowhere, and then like the fact that it was all guys, like it, and that was truly such a great group of guys. Like we all just got along so very well. There was just such good camaraderie among us, and it was such a good time. And so having that, like it's a very different, I'll use the word vibe when
I don't mind the word vibe. I'm for it.
Or energy, whatever you want to call it, when it's like just men. And it was very, very nice to experience that and get to be a part of that. I truly, truly enjoyed that. And I actually do very much so look forward to going next year, because that was so much fun. Yeah.
We'll be happy to have you.
Oh yeah.
For year number 2.
Yeah.
Thank you for those final closing statements. Thank you for being here with us on the podcast.
Thank you, James.
Appreciate it, man. Our second guest, we'll be having more to come, but I had a great time. I enjoyed getting to know you even a little bit more, and I'm excited, like I said before, to continue to get to know you as a friend throughout the years. But as like a wrap up here, just a reminder to follow in the footsteps like Joseph did from the story Matthew chapter 1, verse 18 through 25, of just being obedient, having faith, being kind, and following after Christ, because good things can come from that, and those are really good things that we should strive to be and to work on. And also just reminder once again, love people. Take that extra second, take that extra minute, make that phone call, send that text. Make that drive to see your family. You know, we have the moment right now. We don't have tomorrow promised. And we're very blessed. And like I said, even if relationships aren't necessarily the best right now, do your best to improve that, because we never know when those people are going to be taken from our lives or when we're going to be taken. So really appreciate those things. Love people. Be kind. You know, go smile. Put a smile on someone else's face. So that's all I have for that. But as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and share. This is the Campfire Council podcast.
4 is the perfect number.
4 is the perfect
4
number.
is the perfect number.
4 is the perfect number.
That
Yeah,
was,
buddy.
That was frustrating, dude.
That was very frustrating.